friends, welcome. Today I am going to go through the 10 books that I would like to read before 2023. Now, I'm a mood reader, which means I have a very hard time sticking to books. I'll plan a TBR and won't be in the mood for any of them. So I have a hard time with TBRs, but I thought it would be nice to talk about some books that I want to read with you all. And I am doing a challenge of reading 70 books this year, and I have 10 books left to read. So perfect number. Let's get this party started. First book that I would like to read before 2023 that I'm super excited about, which was a recommendation when I did a post about The Pindericks on Garden Street by Jean Birdsall. And the book that I want to read, inspired by that, is The Vanderbeekers on 141 Street by Corinna Jan Glaser. And this book follows a biracial family in Harlem as they learn the news that they may have to move. And it has the same vibes as The Pindericks. And I started listening to the audiobook already and know that I'm going to really enjoy it. It sounds so fun. And I'm just excited to be reading more middle grade elementary books after doing a lot of rereads of my childhood favorites. So super excited about this one. I think this one I'm definitely going to get to. Not sure about the others, but this one I am super excited about. And of course, I put the content warnings down below in the description, but I am very sure that this one is going to be a safe book for me. At number 2, I have A Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. And this one I talked about in an unboxing that I have, so be sure if you want to check out that video, I'll link it above and in the description. But I need to get to this one. This is the sequel to Six Crimson Cranes, which is an adaptation off of the fairy tale Seven Swans that I really enjoyed and I read back at the beginning of the year. I definitely think I have a hard time when it comes to series, getting through the whole series, especially reading the first book and then waiting a long time, having to wait a long time for the second book. So I know that I need to get to this one in order for me to remember what happened in the last one and be invested. So I've started it and I think it's going to be wonderful if I just can get into it. This one is definitely more of a fantasy moderate book. So I know that I'm also going to have to be careful when I read this one because the first one was definitely okay for me. I think the mood was definitely what helped me get through some of the harder parts, but maybe that's part of why I haven't gone through this book. But yeah, super excited about this one. Really hope I get to it before the end of the year. Number 3 is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this one I've been wanting to get to for a while and just now kind of got the push to really get into it because I was a part of a book club. Unfortunately, don't have capacity for that right now, but the book club for the UU Young Adults for Climate Justice is reading this book right now. And even though I can't be part of the book club, I know that I need to try to get to this. And so I'm hoping that I can read it because I've heard so many good things about it. And it is Indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and teaching of plants and climate justice, Indigenous wisdom. Super excited to read this one. But I definitely do have a harder time when it comes to nonfiction. I only read a little bit of nonfiction because it can be a little harder for me to get through some of the content warnings and if I'm in the mood, etc. because reading for me is such an escape, but really am excited and really hope that I can get to this one. Number 4 and 5 are part of the same series, and that is Amari and the Night Brothers and Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. And I've just seen so many people talking about this book, and I'm like, I need to read it. I need to add it to my TBR, and I need to read it now, especially maybe at the same time, since both books are out, and we already talked about my issue with reading sequels, etc., and series. But this one has the same name as a story that I'm actually working on, and I love the name Amari. And I mean, the cover is beautiful. A black girl in amazing hair, fantasy. I feel like I don't need to know much else. And I don't know much else about this book, but I am very excited to try it out and see if I like it. This is middle grade, so I'm assuming that I'm gonna have a pretty safe time reading, but I would say it's probably a mild on the HSB, but that's just my prediction. Of course, I do not know, and I put the content warnings down below. Okay, so the next few books on this TBR that I want to read before 2023 are books that I've just seen around and I don't know much about, but feel like might work for me, which is something that I do have an issue with, kind of finding books, hoping they will work and not knowing much about them. But hopefully they will be some awesome reads. And the first one is Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. And this one I saw on some list about like cozy YA contemporary, and it's about a girl who is directing her own play and doing theater stuff, and then she gets to play Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, and I am a fan of Shakespeare and theater, so I thought this might be just the kind of fun read that I might need right now. So I'm excited to see about this one. I'm pretty sure my library has this one. I had to make sure my library had all of these because I don't like buying books that I haven't read yet, because what if I don't like them? Then I have The Sun Bearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. Now this one I do not know a lot about at all. I heard Audrey from Perpetual Pages talking about this book, and I read Adrian Thomas's last book, Cemetery Boys, and really enjoyed that one, and so knew that I had to read something else by this author. But it looks really exciting, and don't know much about it, don't know how safe it's going to be, but I'm assuming moderate because it's a fantasy, and yeah, excited to dive into this one. The next two are some middle grade books that I've heard other booktubers talking about, and I'm in a mood to read more middle grade books that of course I didn't grow up with and sound really exciting. And so the next book is Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor by Xiwenjie Zhao. And this one, I believe, is the same author as The Iron Widow, which sounds like an amazing, powerful, important book, but I think would be a bit too intense for me. So I'm excited to read another book by this author and discover another fantasy. I feel like a lot of these books that I'm reading right now are fantasy, and I think I'm just trying to find good, safe fantasy for me as an HSP, so we'll see how this one is. The next one that I have is Bayou Magic by Jewel Parker Rhodes. And this one I discovered because I saw an article about Ariel Isn't Alone, Black Ariel, and a bunch of other Black mermaid, merpeople books. And I've been in the mood for other merpeople books because I recently read Out of the Blue by Jason June and really enjoyed that one. And so I wanted more, Black merpeople. And so this is a middle grade that I've seen before but have not picked up and read. And so I'm excited to read this one. The last book that I have on my list is Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. And this has been on my shelves for a long time, and I've heard people talk about it. and I just haven't been able to get into it. And again, it's one of those fantasy books that I just worry about whether or not I'm going to enjoy them, if I'm going to have to skim a lot depending on the content. And I just think this is going to be an important read and I would like to read it. So I'm hoping that maybe this year I can get through it. I'm about halfway through. So yeah, this one definitely HSB scale for sure, a moderate and borderline on unsafe. So hoping that this will be okay. Well, those were all the books, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I'm super excited for the rest of my reading year, and I can't believe it is almost the end of the year. And I hope to do a wrap up of all the books that I've read this year, so look out for that. And again, please like and subscribe. Please put in the comments, what are you planning on reading for the rest of this year? Have you read any of the books that I talked about? What were your thoughts about them? And again, please keep my comment section kind and anti-racist. In the meantime, keep resting, resisting, and finding joy. Goodbye for now.